Welcome, everyone, to a very, very special episode of AASCENTV, Life on the Autism Spectrum. I'm your co-host, Keith Halperin.
I'm your co-host, Will Burnick.
Before we begin with our program, Will, what's with your T-shirt today?
Well, for our 10th anniversary, I'm gonna wear three of my favorite shirts. I'm gonna wear my Cal City Space shirt, and then I'm wearing my Best Buddy shirts, and end with my USF shirt. I've worn three shirts throughout the 10 years of Life on the Autism Spectrum, and I'm bringing them back for our 10th anniversary special. For those of you who might have seen me wear these shirts, and now they'll see me wear them again on our anniversary.
Yeah, folks, in case you hadn't guessed it from Will, that's what our show is about. It is honoring our 10th anniversary of AASCENTV, Life on the Autism Spectrum. What we'll be doing is our co-hosts and correspondents will be discussing some of their very favorite episodes, and our cultural correspondent, Stacey Kennedy, will be discussing some of the events that she has covered that are meaningful. Our book correspondent, Jennifer Brooks, will be discussing some of the books that she has most been impacted by. So until then, we'll let our executive producer, Matthew McIntyre, go ahead with some of our favorite episodes. My favorite show, one of them that is, was our very first one, over 10 years ago. While this is our 10th anniversary, we've actually been doing a little bit more than 10 years. And meant a great deal to me because we've never done anything like this before. I haven't been participating in a television program. I hadn't been working with people in this capacity. So I didn't quite know what to expect. I was worried it might not go very well. I was worried I wouldn't do very well, but it did go very, very well. Hello, and welcome to Life on the Autism Spectrum. We hope to present you people, news, and creative efforts of those on the autistic spectrum, their families, and the professionals who deal with our community.
Ascend is a support group, and also it's a platform for change and a platform for action. It's a unique model, but it's worked well for us. Our board of directors is half on the autism spectrum and half not, and we work well together. At that end of the spectrum, having autism can be an advantage. One of our members, when it comes to the meeting, says, it's such a relief to know that it isn't just me, that I'm in a group of people who get it. People talk a lot about autism, but we don't get to hear many people with autism talking about life on the spectrum.
It works by the process of microscopic reversibility. It works in the opposite direction. I've learned to smile in the last couple of years, and if you smile, then the effect of your face gets transmitted into your brain to affect your emotions. People smile back.
Recently, and that was what we called Autism in Prison. This was with our guest who had been previously incarcerated for a number of years for a very serious crime, and he was now rehabilitated. And I was particularly moved by his stories of being a person with autism within prison, what he had to do beyond what ordinary inmates had to do to survive and to do well, and also the incredible transformation that I've seen in him in how he came across as a person. So fundamentally, it was very, very moving to me.
Tell us about your background and what led you to being incarcerated.
There is violence. There was times of violence and fights, but honestly, they were some of the most important times of my life, I would have to say. I met some incredible people, and I met some incredibly horrible people as well. Not just fellow prisoners, but also people that worked for the administration, the staff, guards. I was diagnosed at the age of 32, April 2015. At San Quentin State Prison. And so I was just like, my lawyer lied to me. And so that lit a fire in me to seek out a test and diagnosis for myself, either a yes or a no, and included me risking my life multiple times on different prison yards.
Autism on Stage And what impressed me was the great eloquence and articulation of our guest, who was able to very vividly describe the work that she had done, the work she was doing, and particularly the aspects of being an autistic person involved in the theatrical work. I very much enjoyed that program as well. Today, our special program is Autism on Stage, where we'll be discussing both the early theater and the contemporary theater's perspective on autism and neurodivergence.
Various ways that autism and neurodiversity have appeared on stage in a great long expanse of time. He has an intense hyper focus. He has an emotional intensity and atypicality. He has an idiosyncratic language use.
Well, I'm an autistic theater practitioner, have just been developed like a muscle from what probably amounts to masking by being on stage. It feels much less like masking, and it feels much more like choice, like agency in what and when to do, not just doing it for the sake of doing it.
All told, it has been a very, very interesting, challenging, in a good way, 10 years. We'll now hear from our co-host, Will Burnick's favorite selections.
My first favorite is Autism Awareness Night at Oracle Park, where we interviewed Will Clark, and one year we interviewed Derek Law, and Will and then we interviewed Will Clark and his kids, and that was important. It was important because not only were we in person, but we met the giants themselves.
We are at Autism Awareness Night for the San Francisco Giants.
I'm great. I'm having so much fun. The weather is beautiful. It's an amazing day.
I think the Giants have been doing a really great job with helping kids with disabilities, not just autism in general, other disabilities, cancer, mental health, raising awareness.
We're not trying to make them like us, but we want them to understand us and not make us exactly, try to function like them, because we're all generally different anyway.
Now, pretty much everybody, throughout the country is affected in some form or another from autism, so it has become a big, big cause. Yeah, I mean, I'd said it before, but, you get a chance to have a stage and try to make a presence, and so that's what my wife and I have done for all of these years.
And my next favorite is Sailing and Autism, where we interviewed that guy who owned the boat, and he had autism, and he had been on the ocean.
It is Autism and Sailing, and our guests are from the Bay Area Association of Disabled Sailors.
The whole concept behind BADS is using sailing as a means of instilling self-confidence, communication skills, respect for the environment. And what happens when people who have been injured or had come down with diseases are usually left out of the culture.
The motion of the boat and the fresh air, etc., is very calming.
It's very calming for him because all of the sensory stimulation that he would otherwise be providing for himself is being provided to him externally on this sailboat. He gets right on the boat without any hesitation. He has a big smile on his face when we're out there on the bay.
Working on this TV show has meant a lot to me because we all come together and we all get to film, get to do our own show. We actually present people who represent us, who represent the spectrum, and every job and the jobs they've been working on. We've shown that anyone can have a different job, regardless of disability.
I'm Stacey Kennedy, the cultural correspondent, and I wanted to share my 3 favorite episodes of our 10 years of life on the autism spectrum. My first favorite is of season 3, episode 9, where autism goes to Comic-Con. And I thought that was a really excellent and fun event where people get to dress up in their favorite, whatever they're into, like Star Wars or Batman and Transformers all combined, and considerably like a lot on the autism spectrum. And I've met those in person too, including myself, like to go to those kind of things. And so it was really fun that year.
It's a special program because we are filming from the field at the San Francisco Comic-Con. And we are filming this because We know that there is a very strong link between the autistic community and various types of fandom. It's basically from a love of the art and a shared sense of community.
Yes, this is Halo 5, but today I'm Halo Kitty.
Halo Kitty.
You meet a lot of people and you make a lot of new friends.
How long have you been a Power Rangers fan?
I remember watching the first series, Mighty Morphin back in the 90s. It was so crazy because I was probably a little bit older than the group that was supposed to be targeted to, but I still watched it because it was like part superhero action and then also part like teenage high school drama. Well, this stuff is, I'm not going to do this stuff anymore because I'm a grown man. And then like I realized how miserable that was to live that life.
My second favorite is season 5, episode 7, Autism and Social Media, where we had our 2018 Ascend conference at San Francisco State University. It was a very huge deal, very great. And where, what's her name? Charlene Tilton from the show Dallas back in the 60s or so. She was there as one of our guests, and she runs a thing in LA, or what she mentioned at the time. She runs something called Actors for Autism. And apparently she has a daughter that lives in Texas who is on the spectrum, supposedly. Either way, she supports the community herself. And that's when we all our first discovery with Dr. Lawrence Fong. And so, yeah, that was one of the biggest days of our life.
Good morning. We are very excited to be here live at San Francisco State University, Seven Hills Conference Center for our 10th annual Ascend Conference. This conference is in the spotlight, autism in the media, and we have exciting guests from across the country who are going to be looking at this topic.
Oh, we have started small with acting classes, and we have gone into doing wonderful programs. Like we had a big film festival in Los Angeles with all the films our students have made. I have been with some of these students for 8 years, and what I have found is it is the consistency that is important.
And also its own opinions and our own voice that have to really be taken into full consideration. If we agree or don't agree with something, it's up to us to say something. Otherwise, we start living a life that's not ours and going with the punches that we don't want. And
today, our guest is Pamela Buttery, founder and organizer of Friends Like Me, which is a program with the ARC of San Francisco and affiliated with Ascend, of which she is a board member.
My son, Alex, was diagnosed with developmental disabilities from birth. The big problem was Alex was very lonely. In fact, he did not have one single friend. Well, Monday night is a games night with half of the evening devoted to half of the guests cooking dinner together and then dining together. The entire program is directed toward anybody with a developmental disability, which in a broad range does cover the people on the spectrum. It's anybody, really. It's directed to people who feel loneliness because of their awkwardness with social interaction.
I've had a lot of fun there, and I'm going to keep going to Friends Like Me, and I would encourage everyone to go to Friends Like Me too.
So looking back on our 10th anniversary on our show, my reflections and my favorite of memories or so, anybody on the spectrum, whatever they put their heart and mind to or so, with some, assistance and help from the right people, can do anything's possible.
I want you to think really hard about, like, not the episodes, but what books you've read over the last 10 years.
You can hear me, right? Not muted.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. Keep going.
So, yeah, I'll tell you about the books that I showed at the anniversary party. The first one is called Mockingbird. This is by Catherine Erskine. This is a children's book from way back in 2010. Yeah. That was when I was first diagnosed, and it's a time when society was just starting to move between, wait, you mean Asperger's exists? And wait, you mean a girl can have Asperger's? This is, as far as I know, is the first book to describe a character as having Asperger's. So That makes it historically significant. My second book is a classic by Oliver Sacks, the late neurologist who may have been autistic himself. Yeah, he has written many books, and this one tends to focus on artists, including Stephen Wiltshire. He's the savant who can draw a picture of a city after flying over it once, and also Temple Grandin, and her architectural sketches, which tend to be quite ornate and have a certain beauty to them. So here are some of the drawings by Stephen Wiltshire. Quite talented, as you can see. Okay, so my third book to tell you about today is called The Thinking Person's Guide to Autism. This is an anthology with 4 editors. One of them is Shannon de Rochas Rosa. She is a Bay Area local and the mother of Leo Rosa, who is also on the autism spectrum. And yes, and so we have a very short, between 2 and 4 pages, essays about a variety of topics, including first steps after the autism diagnosis, advice for autism parents, caregiving and autism, therapies and service providers, acceptance and inclusion, autism adult voices, school and education issues, and many more. So those are my 3 recommended books, just a sampling of the many that I heard reviewed over the years. And yes, we are fortunate that there are many more high quality books about autism being published now. I don't know if it really changed me. I mean, I do hope this can be a force for good and help people understand autism better. Understand it's something to be afraid of. It's something to be ashamed of. And hope that our institutions can be more accommodating.
I want you to talk about the 3 shirts that you like the most during the 10 years that you've been on.
For in the past 10 years, I've worn different shirt every episode. But there's 3. I'm wearing the 3 shirts that stand out to me. I'm wearing my Cal State East Bay shirts. I went there. Went there to school. I went to school there for 4 years, and then I wore a shirt to represent that school. My next shirt is my next shirt is the next one is my Best Buddies shirt. Most of you know I'm in Best Buddies, and every year and I participate in their events. I've even including their friendship walk. Most of you seen we've filmed the friendship walk as an episodes for our TV show and interviewed the Best Buddies members there. And my last shirt is a USF shirt because I've been I go to we host Best Buddies events at the school, and I also go to their sports games, including soccer, basketball, baseball, and even volleyball. I encourage everyone to go to sports games, the USF, and cheer on the Dons.
We'd now like to actually hear from someone that our viewers have not seen prior to this, most likely. He is a board member of Ascend, an advisor to our program, and you might say our director, Michael Bernick. A few words from you.
Thanks, Keith. You're right. I've been behind the camera for 10 years, but I wanted to take just a few minutes or a few less than that to say something about the past 10 years. I think it's striking that, Keith, that we've all stuck together In other words, we've had the same cast, the same executive producer, Matthew McIntyre, and we've stuck together as a group. Hopefully, we'll continue. But I think, there are not a lot of shows or institutions where people stick together that much, and I think that's a credit to Matthew and to the cast. Also, I just continue each show. You started with the first show, Keith, where we had Camilla Bixler, our Ascend co-chair, and Jim Alray, one of our longtime members. In all of the shows over the past 10 years, I've just been struck by how the insights, whether it's wrestling or stage or autism, sailing, the insights that we get from our guest and both people on the spectrum and some of the other allies we have in the community. So I've really been grateful to be part of it for this first 10 years, and hopefully we'll, Matthew, have another good 10 years.
Thank you, Mike, and thank you, everyone. Folks, this is pretty much the end of our program. Before we go, I'd like to end with my thoughts about the past 10 years, what we've been trying to do here, and how it's been received. What we've been trying to do here is to demonstrate, forgive the pun here, the full spectrum of the autistic community. People who are part of it, people who are interact with it, how it has evolved over the past 10 years, how it has been the perception of how we have been received over the past 10 years. And I hope we've been able to accomplish that fairly well. Beyond that, it has been very good for me, and I hope for the rest of us working together, as has been mentioned. And again, I'd like to thank all of you who have been watching us, or either real time through public television or through YouTube, Vimeo. Hope that we've given you some insight and some pleasure. And finally, I'd like to end. This will, at least for the foreseeable future, be my last program. After 10 years, I will be moving on. But in my place, we will have alternating co-hosts between Stacey Kennedy and Jennifer Brooks, and my great co-host, Will Bernick, will be remaining. So I want to thank all of you again for the past 10 years, and I wish all of you well. So until next time, stay well and stay good. Thank you.